Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. This video includes paid promotion. Well guys, I've noticed we have seen some excitement in the crypto space, so then it begs the question, is the bottom in? Is this all done? Take a look at this. Crypto Insight UK posting this. 90% of my timeline is posting that the bottom is in. Is it this consensus or is it just my algorithm? And I know. You can feel the FOMO, you can feel the excitement. I guess maybe not so much FOMO, but you definitely can feel the excitement when the market is rallying a little bit, guys. We've got XRP here on the daily, and essentially we have seen over the last few days a turnaround for XRP. Just a few days ago, we were trading under $1.10, in and around here at $1.08, give or take $1.08.5, and now, guys, we are up closer to $1.14, so $1.13.5. Next levels for XRP to break. This is a crucial level of resistance up here, and that's in around $1.18. But guys, the big level here is $1.29. And if we can get up above these two levels, well then, anything is possible at that point. It's not just XRP though, guys. Of course, the market is following Bitcoin. Take a look at the Bitcoin chart. So we have, in fact, broken out of that inverted head and shoulders pattern. So that was the pattern that we were following for quite a while, but still have yet to break past this level of resistance here for Bitcoin. So I guess it all depends. What happens here at this particular juncture for Bitcoin, this is really what's going to dictate where the rest of the market goes. Bitcoin is on its trajectory to the upside, so that's positive. I mean, it's been very positive for the rest of altcoins. We can see fear and greed is slowly moving towards neutral sentiment. We're still technically in fear, though, at 39. The market cap is up by 1.87%. Within the last 24 hours, though, we have seen green on the board. So all cryptocurrencies, of course, all cryptocurrencies following Bitcoin, and many of them, guys, seeing green on the board. So do we even have a red cryptocurrency within the last 24 hours? Doesn't look like it. Oh, there we go. World Liberty is down 0.52%. And then some down here. Meme Core is also down. But regardless, guys, most, the top 10 cryptocurrencies and beyond, those cryptocurrencies are up. Of course, these cryptos follow Bitcoin. I'm going to say it again. They follow Bitcoin in a spec market. They're all doing what they're supposed to be doing. So the next question is, will Bitcoin pop up past this level of resistance? Just going to interrupt this video for a second. Here's a word from one of today's video sponsors. Guys, let's be honest, the crypto market has been moving sideways for a while now. A lot of people are just sitting on their coins waiting for that next big move. But while you're waiting, your crypto is just sitting idle in your wallet doing absolutely nothing. That's why I'm going to mention it again, the long-standing partnership I have with FortisX. Instead of letting your assets sit idle, you can put supported cryptocurrencies into FortisX liquidity pools and earn daily rewards while still keeping the flexibility to withdraw them anytime you want. And I keep working with these guys because they keep delivering. The team is public. They've successfully completed Cyberscope team verification, so that's KYC. They've passed independent security audits, and the platform has been building consistently for years. They're focused on long-term growth, transparency, and security rather than hype. In a market like this, it makes far more sense to have your crypto working for you instead of letting it sit idle. I've worked with FortisX for a long time, and if you're planning to hold your crypto anyway, I genuinely think it's one of the smartest ways to put those assets to work. Remember, investing is inherently risky. Always diversify your investments. This is not financial advice. Some of that, of course, is going to depend on the Clarity Act. And I haven't heard too much from John Deaton these days. He posted this, though. If the Clarity Act doesn't get passed and the Senate flips. Now, here's a warning, okay? Elizabeth Warren becomes the chair of the Senate Banking Committee, which oversees the SEC. And if an Elizabeth Warren-endorsed Democrat wins the presidency in 2028, you can expect Gensler 2.0.
They were fighting like up a river for 4 years under Biden. Like he basically said, like Carl Quintanilla asked, like, aren't you worried about giving Circle a bank license? He's like, look, all I'm doing is following the statutes and the laws as they're written. And I can speak from firsthand experience that until recently, if you mentioned crypto to a regulator, you were like, you just didn't do it. I started 3 different broker dealers, SecFi securities, equity securities, vested securities. They're all broker check. People want to start them as the CEO of. I went through the whole FINRA application process with all 3 of them. 2 is new broker dealers. 1 is a continuing application, which is where you buy a broker dealer and then you apply for another broker dealer license. Every single time, and we had the best Manhattan attorneys that advised us. We were VC funded, and we had these fancy guys from a firm called Lowenstein Sandler. Every single time they would tell us, look, just don't mention crypto. Like, once you mention that, you're going to be persona non grata. You're going to go to the back of the list. If you have to, mention it, but otherwise allude to, you might go into other aspects of business. Like and there was no legislative statute law in the books that said if you're involved with cryptocurrencies, you can't have a broker dealer or you can't have a bank. There's no law prohibiting it. It was just a stance that the regulators took because they were essentially in the back pockets of the big banks. And it was a threat to the big banks, and it is a threat to the big banks. This is the whole reason why the Clarity Act hasn't been passed yet.
So there you guys have it there. Another Gensler 2.0. And I mean, you can see how the climate is and how it has changed now with basically a new administration. But during those Biden years, it was brutal. And if we get Elizabeth Warren back, guys, we could revert back to that same sentiment. So got to be very careful with that. Also wanted to bring this up, guys. Zafe Crypto also mentioning that Link2 has received the U.S. bankruptcy court approval to sell approximately $130 million in Ripple Labs private shares as part of its Chapter 11 proceedings. So if you guys did sign up for Link2 and are following the lawsuit, you may want to follow Zafe Crypto here for more information on that. I don't know where he got this information, but looks like there has been obviously a development here. Bank XRP also commenting, 4 institutional buyers, 0 pushback from Ripple on their ROFR. What does that tell you about where they think the valuation is headed? Never trust Arrington and Galaxy Digital, says Sir Trades a lot here. John Deaton has been quote tweeted recently. So interesting. I didn't see that. But I guess, there's a lot going behind the scenes that we still don't know about. Khaled here saying, if they're real private Ripple shares, then why do we have to sell them when they could simply give them to the people who bought them and let them decide if they want to sell or keep them? It's a very good question, too. I'm sure there's a lot of logistics and legalities involved, but I'm going to keep it at that. Wanted to thank Zafe Crypto, John Deaton, and Crypto Insight UK for posting those. Guys, we also have Ashish Birla here retweeting out Evernorth's tweet. Everyone seems to be waiting on the Fed these days. The builders aren't, though. 3 things shipped in the XRP universe over the last 2 weeks. None of them need a rate cut. He continues by saying AI agents made $1 million in payments on the XRP ledger in about a month per ledger data, and that was as per T54, which is a company that is now connected to the XRP ledger. Software paying software fractions of a cent, seconds to settle. That demand didn't exist in the spring. Also, we have DTCC. They've added XRP to their educational learning center with general guidance on how crypto collateral haircuts work. It's an educational reference, not an operational decision to accept XRP as collateral, but it puts XRP into the institutional conversation on collateral and risk. We also have on-chain lending. So that's the XLS 66 protocol that went into testing per Ripple X. So they're watching code now. That's his version of watching candlesticks. Ashish Birla also comments, agents, collateral, and credit. None of it is needed in a bull market. XRP's builders aren't waiting, and neither are we. So he is saying the developing is occurring. That's real-world development on the XRP ledger, and that is going to obviously usurp a traditional speculative market in certain ways. So I wanted to just thank Ashish Birla for posting that. Guys, we also have Chad Steingraber commenting on this. When Hidden Road was set up, the prime broker originally set out to tap buy-side capital in order to meet growing demand. In May of this year, Ripple did close a $200 million debt facility from Neuberger Specialty Finance, the dedicated asset-based investment team within asset manager Neuberger. Ripple said the facility will support the continued growth of Ripple Prime amidst rising client demand for institutional-grade prime services and margin financing solutions. So this is happening also on the XRP ledger, guys. In October 2025, Ripple did complete its $1.25 billion acquisition of Hidden Road, as we all do remember that. And so he is retweeting out Mike Higgins' tweet which I do have up here. Mike Higgins disclosed that Ripple Prime has already begun issuing depository receipts against XRP. Now, for those of you guys who do not know, Mike Higgins is the international CEO of Ripple Prime. This is where he leads the growth of expansion of Ripple Prime's brokerage business across institutional markets. He brings nearly 2 decades of experience spanning digital assets, foreign exchange, exchange-traded derivatives, commodities, and precious metals, with deep expertise in electronic trading technologies and market structure. And Michael originally joined Ripple through his acquisition of Hidden Road, where he was a senior leader helping scale the business into a multi-asset institutional-grade prime brokerage platform. So he was originally with Hidden Road, and he had joined Ripple since. So here we have it. An institution can now post XRP as collateral directly with Ripple Prime. So this is coming directly from the horse's mouth. They can receive dollar credit against it and use that credit to trade futures on CME. All without selling a single token. The XRP position stays intact. The tax event never happens, and the institution gains access to an entirely new set of return-generating strategies it could not previously access while holding digital assets. The collateral conversation extends well beyond a single futures trade. Hagen explained that Ripple Prime now accepts a broad range of collateral types. So traditional instruments like U.S. Treasuries, fiat currencies, and gold, alongside modern assets like Bitcoin, XRP, and BlackRock money market funds. So we are seeing more development when it comes to prime brokerage, and when it comes to Ripple Prime specifically, formerly Hidden Road. We are noticing that there's more tradable collateral, more conversions that you can swap over the XRP ledger. So guys, this is going to be great for the future of finance for everybody who wants to trade for something else. Maybe they don't have it. Maybe they have collateral they want to borrow against one of their assets. This is essentially how we're going to see trade transform in the coming years. So I wanted to thank Chad Steingraber for pointing that out. Grayscale also commented on this the other day. Ripple is partnering with MasterCard, JP Morgan, OKX, and Ondo Finance to build the future of finance for both traditional and digital assets. Here's a clip just speaking to that. Listen to this.
Everyone's talking about it here at the conference. I'd love to hear kind of any partnerships you have going on at Ripple. And I know you had a big announcement yesterday. If you would speak to that and maybe how you see the landscape now and where Ripple fits into that.
Sure. I mean, everything we do at Ripple is built around serving institutions and building institutional grade infrastructure to help move value. The Internet of Value is really our core mission and has been since day one. Yesterday, we talked about a partnership together with MasterCard, with JP Morgan, with Ondo Finance, where trades are settling on the XRP ledger. Very exciting. Last week, we had a big announcement on OKX specifically for our stablecoin ROUSD for both spot and derivatives trading, use of collateral, a number of different things we're doing with them. And so from a stablecoin perspective, we launched a little over a year, almost coming up on a year and a half. Very strong momentum, not only in market cap growth at $1.6 billion, but more importantly to us, the longer term utility that we're seeing. A lot of focus first on getting availability around all the major exchanges. We're basically everywhere we want to be. The market makers are there, the custodians are starting to support it more and more. And so now that we've got availability and infrastructure built, now it's really focusing on long-term use cases.
So they have built, and now they're focusing on the long-term use cases. Of course, the interoperability with some of these big companies has been a big deal, a long time coming as well. So I wanted to thank Jack McDonald there for pointing that out, and of course, Grayscale for posting this. We also have this, guys, from Bank XRP. Justin, Ripple executives reveal why the XRP ledger was built fast from day one and not by chance. It was always done by design. Listen to this.
Why was XRP so fast from the beginning on when other blockchains were actually quite slow, at least in the beginning?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the founders of the XRP ledger built the XRP ledger to be it's meant for payments and financial institutions. Architecturally, the way XRPL is set up is that there aren't smart contracts per se, but there's a lot of native functionality that exists on the XRP ledger that allows you to do the same things that smart contracts do, but by just accessing via API endpoints that functionality on the ledger. So you don't need to build your own escrow functionality. You don't need to build your own DEX, for example. You don't have to build your own central limit order book or compliance technology. You can just leverage features that are already available on the XRP ledger today and really plug in. And thinking about, like, we've always suggested amendments to the ledger. We have the community coming in, making proposals for how the ledger grows from here out. all of those enhancements have come with a very singular focus, which is how can you grow broad-based adoption in the safest possible way and the most scalable way that you can. And what that means is, and I think this is where the vision was very powerful right from the beginning, is if you go to a Starbucks and you want to buy a coffee, um, you don't want to land up spending $20 or $30 on gas. You also want it to be reliable, that the block time can confirm in 3 to 4 seconds, so that you can make a payment reliably on time. And so those are some of the very basic principles that went into the design of the ledger, just purpose built for payments or movement of value, which is really powerful, whether it's payments of XRP, a stable coin on the XRP ledger, or another tokenized asset. It's the same speed cost principle.
So there you guys have it. You heard it there. It's almost as if they knew that the XRP ledger was going to be utilized by many different financial institutions around the world. Things that make you go, it was designed essentially as that institutional grade product before they even had the partnerships, before they were even technically partnered with Ripple. So an interesting observation there. No smart contracts needed. Native ledger functionality handles escrow, the DEX, and compliance. So we have fast settlement, of course, and this infrastructure is the edge most people still don't talk about. Jean Squire here commented on David Schwartz's tweet, which brings me back to 2021. If I'm going to be honest, John Squire says David Schwartz says he and his wife agreed to sell at every new XRP all-time high. Now, when David Schwartz makes comments on XRP price, one must listen. And the reason I say that was because of this. Well, I'm going to bring up this tweet first. First, David did say, obviously, I wish I hadn't done all those things. So commenting on Bird XRPL's tweet here from January 29th. Okay, so this is from a while ago. Do you have any regrets selling XRP at 10 cents and Ethereum at $1, Joel Katz? Also, are there any other sell stories you'd be happy to share with us? Now, David Schwartz didn't respond until just yesterday, if you guys are watching this video on the day that I'm releasing it, July the 20th, 2026. Obviously, I wish I hadn't done those things, but I agreed with my wife to sell at every new all-time high, and I really, really hate risk. I wish I was more comfortable with risk, and I'm just not that person. Now, some may think that this is just an innocuous tweet. Others remember what David Schwartz wrote back in 2021. Could this, in fact, be a signal that David Schwartz knows that maybe in the near term we will get to a new all-time high, but we should be selling at that new all-time high? Very good question. I want to bring up this tweet, of course, back from April 13th, 2021. Now, guys, note that date here. Very important. When David Schwartz wrote, this is probably going to be my least popular tweet ever, but if you have life-changing amounts of cryptocurrency, please take some time to seriously consider selling some to reduce your risk and exposure. This is not any kind of prediction about what the market will do, but he said this again, guys, on April the 13th, 2021. And I just want to bring to your attention what occurred on April the 13th, 2021, all right? Let's bring up the XRP chart. And I'm just going to bring up the Bitstamp exchange because I want to just show you guys here what I noticed on the Bitstamp exchange. We're going to compress that down. Go back to April 13th, 2021, guys. You know where that was? That was right in there. You see that? April 13th, 2021. That was the second highest all-time high that XRP had for this period. And that was between the former all-time high from early 2018 when XRP was mired in the lawsuit. So that was in and around here. This was the next bull run where XRP did not hit a new all-time high. And guys, now we have the third bull run where XRP did match that all-time high. So David Schwartz mentioned that right in here. It's almost as if he knew that people were expecting new all-time highs, but he had a feeling, he kind of predicted that life-changing money's on the table. You know, maybe you guys should cash out. I know we were all thinking at that time XRP was going to go from anywhere between $10 to $15 per coin, and it did not. So what do you guys think about this current David Schwartz XRP tweet? Will you sell some of your XRP if it hits a new all-time high? Put it down in the comment section. And if you guys want to follow what I'm doing, you can always follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. It's where I'm telling my Patreon subscribers where I'm buying long, where I'm going to be selling my long positions, how much I'm going to be swing trading versus trading for the long term. So I'm going to be swing trading during this crypto cycle. It's something new and exciting for me too. Follow me. Link is there on the screen. You can also come check out the Working Money Channel merch store if you guys are interested in purchasing some Working Money Channel merchandise. I've got 15% off right now until the end of the summer. Check it out. Link is in the description of the video. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.